it's
Cindy back with.
Go ahead.
What's up, guys? It's Cindy back with another video. And here goes Pookie.
Hey, Pookie! Pokemon.
Hey, my love.
Oh.
Yes, my love.
Hey, Pooks! Big girly.
Alright, guys, so as you can see from the title, I finally, after 1 year and 4 months of living in the US, have obtained my work authorization, my travel authorization, and that's it, because I'm still waiting on the green card. Yay! It took so long, and we just thought we have to make a video about this because it was just a whole process, and I need to give you guys some tips for anyone who's out there on a K-1 visa who wants to move to the US to be with their loved one. So first of all, here's tip number 1. Do not, I repeat, do not fill out any papers after your marriage without a lawyer.
Yes.
Do not do that. When you apply for the I-485, the I-765, and the I-131, yeah, I know all the names.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
my love's about to drop some knowledge in this video already.
When you apply for that, make sure you get a lawyer, or if you can't afford a lawyer, okay, here's the first thing. I had to apply twice because the first time I did not apply with a lawyer. I applied by myself. I was like, oh, this is a cakewalk. Like, this is easy peasy. We can do this.
Yep, and it was $1,225.
Yes. So that's that fee. And if you have to apply again because you did something wrong, you got to pay all of that one more time.
So pretty much.
And it's not only that. You have to take photos. You got to pay for the photos.
Yeah.
Those photos are super expensive, but my honey here got the skills, so he just took them.
Got him. So we ended up spending about like $2,500 or $600 on this process because we had to do it again. Oh, plus the lawyer fee. So
plus
$2,850.
Basically $3K.
Basically $3,000.
And this is not the visa. This is not the cost for the visa itself, all the shit that went into that too. The visa itself was almost $600. You had to take pictures. You had to take like passport photos for the US. Those are a little bit more expensive when you make them in Germany because, you know, it's like an extra requirement.
Yep.
Those are like 25 euros. Then you, there was some other stuff that you had to do for that too. Anyway, to get back to the lawyer thing. So the first time we applied, like I said, I applied by myself. My honey helped me a little bit. What I would say, if you can't afford a lawyer, at that time we couldn't afford a lawyer, I was like, it's gonna be okay. If you cannot afford a lawyer, make sure you read everything at least 3 times. Make sure you have someone else read it 3 times, and then make sure you have someone else read it 3 times. Make sure, like, see how they interpret everything, and make sure you do everything they ask you for. If it says something like you can provide that, but you don't have to, do it anyways. Like, don't even think,
what you mean.
I don't have to do that, so I'm not gonna do it. Just put everything for safety. Just put it in there.
That's what our lawyer told us too.
Yeah, you rather want to submit too much than not enough. So basically what ended up happening, so first off, if you don't know what we're talking about, or if you haven't looked into the process yet, when I moved here, we got married, I applied for adjustment of status, which is basically the green card. With that, you apply for your work authorization and for your travel authorization, because while you're here and you want to obtain your green card, you are not allowed to travel outside the United States, which means you can't visit your family. And so you apply for a travel document, so you are allowed to travel, and they will let you back in. It's not about you traveling away, it's about them letting you back into the US when you come back. And if you don't have that document, they will be like, well, you can't enter the country anymore, and then you are fucked. So you do all of that, and with that, basically, because you know you have no work authorization, obviously you're not allowed to work, you can't make no money. They want to make sure.
Exactly.
This is like the most twisted shit ever. They want to make sure you don't become a public charge, which means like the state basically has to pay for your stuff.
Exactly.
They want to make sure that doesn't happen, so you have to provide your spouse's financial information, which is tax returns, W-2s, 1099s, whatever your partner does, if he's a freelancer, self-employed, employed. Just from the last 3 years, give everything that you have, show it to them, bank statements, whatever.
Basically, they like to pretty much put on some gloves and look up your butt to see everything about you. Continue.
Exactly. They will ask you a whole bunch of questions too, but this was the reason our first application failed. So I gave the stuff from William. I attached that to my application, and William at the time didn't make enough. Like there's a requirement of how much that person has to make.
Yep.
It depends on how many people live in the household, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But William didn't make enough for that poverty guideline. So
right.
when you don't have, when the person doesn't make enough, you need a sponsor. So somebody who makes enough money to support you in that situation.
Definitely did not make enough.
So we put William's dad. So here's the thing. They sent me a request of evidence, which means they need more information. They were like, okay, your husband doesn't make enough, so we need a joint sponsor, and we need their information, which means all their W-2s, all their 1099s, all their tax returns from the last 3 years, their name, their social security, all of that stuff, right? So I'm over here thinking,
Yep.
okay, they have William's info, so I'm gonna send them the info from the joint sponsor, which is my father-in-law. Shout out to Papa Nichols. I send only that. It said in the request of evidence that I needed, well, I didn't read that right. That's why you need to read everything at least 5 times, especially a request of evidence, or let your lawyer read it. So basically they wanted all the info from William one more time, that and this joint sponsor. They wanted his stuff again, even though they already had it. But apparently there was something missing. I think I didn't fill out one field in that application.
And it was over with.
And the most stupidest part is, it was a social security number, but I attached his social security card, which says the social security number. They could have just filled that out, and
no.
It was like his social security number was on the application for my visa, which they have. It was somewhere else, which they have. And I'm like, you have the social on file. Why do I need to send his stuff all over again? No, whatever. It didn't make sense, but if they say you have to do it, just do it.
Just do it!
Even if you feel like, even if you think they already have that, so I don't have to do it anyways. Like I said, you rather want to send too much than not enough. So because of that reason, they didn't call or send another letter and be like, we still need your husband's info that's missing. No, instead of doing that, they just declined my application. So I had to do the whole process all over again.
Ugh.
First off, that shit is a whole lot of paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork. But anyway, this time what we did, and then instead of putting William and his dad, we put William, his dad,
and my mom.
and his mom.
My mom. Hey, Mom.
Hi, Mom! Because we had to make sure it's really going to be enough. And we were like, we're not even going to risk it. And then you have to wait and wait. And that's the hardest part. I waited, I think, 9 months for the first, which was the denial. Was it 9 months? Or was it like 8
Yeah.
months? Oh, it was 7.5 months. It was 7 months. I remember.
7 months?
It
For
was
the first denial?
Yeah, for the first one. That got denied. So I wasted 7 months waiting to visit my family. I'm over here thinking I'm going in on Christmas, yay, 2019, if you forget that. So I'm over here waiting, got denied, and then I have to do it all over again within 30 days. And I'm just over here like, oh my gosh. And then I waited another 6 months for everything. So I waited a year and a month, or a year and 1.5 months. There's so much time that has gone to waste from that, and that's why I'm saying, the second time we got a lawyer, she looked over everything, she made sure we had everything.
After I had to like freaking talk you into it.
I know. I was so like.
I was like, we got to do this, honey, because
It was just the financial situation.
I know.
We were
But
not in the best like place at that moment.
But
so
I still was like,
like,
it don't even matter at this point, because would you rather waste another 1.25K? Would you rather do this all over again or pay this lawyer and be done with it forever?
Exactly.
That's what I was starting to think about.
And that's when I was like, you're right. We should definitely do it. And it was the best decision ever. So I encourage you, please just get a lawyer. I'm going to drop her. I found her in a forum for people that were struggling with the same issue or were struggling with similar issues with that same application. I'll drop my lawyer's information in the description below. She does everything over Skype if you don't live in the same state. So it's super easy. We talked on Skype for I think for like 40 minutes. We went over everything. I emailed her all the documents. She looked over it. She told me what's needed or what's wrong.
Yep.
And her fee is so low. It was $250, which is I inquired at a lawyer like over here and it was like almost 1K. So if
Yep.
you need a lawyer, you can definitely hit her up. She's super nice, super sweet, and she gave me all the info that I needed.
But
so.
she went above and beyond in my
Yeah, she did.
because like there was a lot of things that she also added that I think that made it as to where we overwhelmed them. We went overload because she was saying like there's not a point of too much information that you can give them. There's no such thing as too much information because the more evidence you give them, the more that they're going to say like, yes. Because the USCIS, they already asked for a lot, but we gave them that and then a lot more outside of that.
I'm just so happy. Like this is just. I was literally crying when I saw that I got approved because it was so much work, so much blood, sweat, and tears, and obviously, I finally wanted to work legally. And just, step foot on the ground.
Yeah, step your ground in the foot.
I put my feet on the ground and just like, don't feel
Contribute.
like,
You're a burden.
yeah, because, like everybody can relate to this. When you just like can't work, you just feel like a burden. Like my husband had to pay for everything. He had to make the bread and all of that. And I try to help him as much as I can wherever I could.
Question.
But
do you think Pookie feels like a burden right now? Okay.
I don't think she does. In December, we're gonna go to Germany.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna vlog everything because I'm so freaking excited.
Exactly. And if y'all got any questions about the process, be sure to definitely drop a comment. Like this video. Also, for us just coming this far in the whole paperwork process.
Yes.
And subscribe.
Subscribe to the channel.
To my honey.
And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. You can also ask me on Instagram or whatever. Feel free to ask me anything you want. I'll drop the lawyer in the description. And I hope that really helps you guys because I don't want anybody to go through what we went through. So yeah, that's it. Bye.
All right, bye.